Hey everybody, welcome to or back to my channel, My Kind of Stuff, and welcome to day 10 of Bookmas. So, day 10 has kind of been a compilation of the first, I don't know, like 20-ish days of December. As you can see behind me, I wrapped my physical TBR. There are a few books actually in there that I'm going to be reading on Kindle, and so I just wrapped a book that was close to the same page count and put a sticky note with it so I know what book it is when I unwrap it. But I thought this would be a fun way to tackle my TBR this month. So every time I need a new book, I unwrap, and that's what I get. Um, so it adds a little element of surprise. There's quite a few holiday books on there, and also some fantasy romance. Um, there's a couple horror books on there. So I have a pretty good mix of stuff. So I'm excited to jump in. It is officially December 1st today, and I want to go open my first book. So let's go check it out. All right, it is officially time to pick our first book from Unwrap the TBR. I think I want to get some of the bigger ones out of the way, or at least for my first pick. So I'm leaning towards like these two are kind of big. Maybe that one. And I don't remember like what book is in what. I have a general idea, like based on length, but that's about it. This one's calling to me. I'm gonna go with this one. Ooh, okay. So for this one, I wrapped Spark of the Everflame, but I've actually already read this. The book I will be reading is A Ship of Bones and Teeth by Karina Halley. I need to read this for the Ever After readathon, as well as in February I will be able to meet the author at Romantasy BookCon, so I've been meaning to get to a few more of her books to see if I want to get any signed. So yeah, really excited that this is our first pick. All right, it is now the next day. I have officially finished A Ship of Bones and Teeth by Karina Halley. I'm really torn on how to rate this one. I know that it is April's favorite. It is Crystal's favorite. I, however, didn't love it. It's kind of somewhere between like a 3 and 4 star for me. There was nothing like wrong with it. It just wasn't the story for me. We've had this discussion before where like I don't really know that I care about like mermaids or sirens or things like that, those types of creatures. I'm not really a fan of stories on water, like pirates and stuff aren't generally my cup of tea. I do love a good Captain Hook retelling though, like where he gets the girl. And this is kind of in the realm of that, but it's more like an Ariel retelling, where a female main character is a siren, but she goes to this sea witch and asks, to get legs and a voice to be able to go live with Prince Eric, who ends up being a complete ass and treats her like crap. So yay for her. But she gets taken captive, and this is basically a whole like pirate adventure. We're on a ship the whole time being captive, but end up falling in love with our captor. It was fine. There were some spicy scenes that were pretty good. I just didn't care. Like, I just simply could not get into it. I could not give myself a reason to care or root for our female main character. The male main character was decent, but like there wasn't any really good banter between them. And I just don't really love a travel story. So, like, overall, this just kind of didn't work for me. I can see why people love it. Um, but I don't know. It just wasn't my cup of tea. So I'm so sorry, April, and I'm so sorry, Crystal, because I know you guys both really like it. But yeah, I don't know. It was fine. It was what it was, but it is now time to go unwrap another book. So let's go over there and see what we're going to be reading next. All right, it is time to pick our next book. We went with a chunky book last time, so we only have a couple chunkier books on here. So maybe let's pick one of our smaller ones. Let's see where that gets us. This one's pretty small. This one, these two aren't terribly length. I don't know. I'm just feeling one of the little ones because I think those are going to be the holiday ones. And I just read a non-holiday book, so I think I want a holiday read this time. So let's go with this first one. This looks little and a good one that would easily get checked off. It's a very tiny package. Okay, so we got The 12 Days of Dash and Lily by Rachel Koh and David Leviathan. If you've seen the Dash and Lily series on Netflix, this is basically the same story. This is, I believe, book 2 or book 3. I don't remember at this point. It's been so long since I read the other ones. But this is very short. Yeah, only 215 pages, and the font is pretty big as well. So I should be able to get this one done easily in a day. So I'm going to go read, and I will check back in with you guys when I have finished, let you know my thoughts, and then we will open our next book. All right, guys, I officially finished The 12 Days of Dash and Lily. I unfortunately am only giving this one 2 stars. If you've seen the Netflix series, this kind of follows the same story. This is book 2 in the series. Um, book 1 was cute. This one, though, Lily was just so whiny the entire time. She was treating Dash like crap. She kept like ghosting him and ghosting everybody. And it was just real annoying and so much unnecessary drama. Like, both of these kids are going through a lot in their home lives, their family lives. I get it. It's hard to cope with, but like it wasn't even so much that. It was just her attitude and the way she acted towards everyone through the entire book. I just kept rolling my eyes at her. I wanted to smack her. Uh, it just didn't do it for me. But that being said, I can officially go unwrap my next book and find out what we're reading next. So let's go over there and check it out. All right, it's officially time to make our next book pick. I should have not wrapped these in red. I'm not a fan of the color red, and it's really making me like not gravitate towards them. We just did a really small novella, so I'm thinking I want to go with one of the slightly bigger books on here now. This one is calling my name. I don't know why. It's very like squared off, and it's just quite appealing to me. So I think we're gonna pick this one next. Okay, okay. So we have Twisted Games by Anna Huang. This is book 2 in the Twisted series. I didn't love the first book, but you know, I'm up for giving this one a try at least. If I really don't like this one either, I might DNF the series. But we'll just kind of see how I feel about this one first. So I'm gonna go start reading. All right. Don't mind the way I look today. I have had a headache all day. I've been feeling kind of run down the last couple days, like I'm getting a cold. So, yeah, it is what it is. I look how I look. And I am not going to apologize for it. However, I did finish Twisted Games, which was the last book we unwrapped for Unwrap the TBR. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. It is a princess bodyguard romance. This was also a book that I needed to read for my TBR takedown video this month, so I'm glad we got to this early and I was able to check that off the list. And yeah, I really enjoyed this. I hadn't really read any bodyguard romance before, so this ended up being really cute. I loved the like forced proximity of it all. Our male main character is the sweetest bean ever, even though he's this like big broody burly guy. He just does the sweetest things for her. Like actions speak louder than words, and he really made that saying shine here. Um, Again, I didn't like book 1 in this series, but I am glad that I at least gave book 2 a chance and tried, because this one really ended up being a win for me. That being said, we can now officially go pick our next book off the shelf. So let's hop over there and see what we're going to be reading next. All right, it is officially time to pick our next book. Feel like I've been avoiding the red ones. So let's go with the red one this time. I don't know which one to pick. Maybe this one is a hardcover, and I don't remember what I would have wrapped. I think this one's a hardcover too. I really don't remember what these are, but I grabbed this one already, so let's open it and see what it is. Okay. So this was one of the ones where I just wrapped a random book that was close to the same page count, but this is going to be a Spectacular, which is the new holiday novella in the Caraval series by Stephanie Garber. Again, this one is a novella, so it's about this same length, so it shouldn't take me very long to get through, but I absolutely love the Caraval series. I love Stephanie Garber's writing, and I'm really excited to read this one. And I also am reading it for our holiday bingo and the Ever After Romantasy readathon that's going on. Apparently Luna's gonna come help. So yeah, I'm gonna go snuggle this little girl and get to reading. All right, I have officially finished my next book for Unwrap the TBR, which was Spectacular by Stephanie Garber. This is a novella that takes place after the first 3 books in the Caraval series. I gave this one 3 stars. Definitely don't go into this one if you have not read the first 3 books, because it will spoil things. But it was really cute getting to see Scarlett and Tella and them just getting ready for the holiday season. There's going to be a huge party and all kinds of magic as per usual in this world. We're mostly following Tella in this book because she is trying to find the perfect gift and is struggling. Overall, it was fun. I was glad to be back in the world, but it felt very short. Like I read this, I think, in about an hour. So it just felt really rushed. I wish it would have been a little bit longer. Um, but overall, I still had fun with it, and it is time to go unwrap our next book and see what we get. All right, it is officially time to pick. I think this is going to be our 5th book now off of Unwrap the TBR. I'm like in the mood for all these little books right now. Like, look at how cute and tiny this one is. And I've been avoiding the red books, so maybe we just bite the bullet and do another red one. So I wrapped another one where I wrapped a random book that was close to the page count, but we have Queen of Rot and Pain by Liv Zander. This is book 2 in the Pale Court Duet, so actually that works out really well because I want to focus on getting some series knocked off my list that I am in the midst of. I actually read book 1 of this just last month, I believe, and I quite enjoyed it. So I'm excited to get into book 2, and it's just a duet, so this will knock a series off my list. This also works for the Ever After readathon going on right now, so yeah, I'm excited to get into this one. I will check back in with you guys when I've finished. All right, I have officially finished Queen of Rot and Pain by Liv Zander. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. This is book 2 in the Pale Court Duet. It's kind of hard to talk about this one without spoiling it because book 1 kind of ends on a cliffhanger sort of moment, and what happens after that kind of perpetuates what happens in this book. But our ruthless king feels very betrayed by this human woman that he had captured in book 1. And it's kind of just him learning to love again, learning to trust again. We are also seeing her really come into her own, um, earning his trust and kind of showing him that she wants to be included in things, she wants to help rule. And it does end in a happily ever after, which was really kind of nice because I wasn't sure that it was going to. He is a very ruthless man and definitely does some very unkind things to her, but she is able to overcome and forgive him. Um, and again, it's really hard to explain the intricacies of why without spoiling what happens in the book. And yeah, overall, I had a really good time with it. I am glad that I read this one because that ticks a series off of my list because starting in 2025, I really want to start focusing on series. I'm working on putting together like a spreadsheet of all the active series that I'm in right now and really starting to buckle down and try and like knock things off or get caught up on things I can get caught up on. And I also read this one for part of the Ever After readathon happening in December. So, yeah, overall, really happy that I read it. I had a lot of fun with it, and now it's time to go pick our next book. All right, guys, I apologize. Lighting kind of probably sucks really bad. It's pretty late, but I have a very long day of cooking ahead of me tomorrow because we are having a late Friendsgiving, so I will be making all of the Thanksgiving food tomorrow morning. So I'm gonna pick the next book now, so I'm just prepared and ready to go. Last time we picked the shortest book. Maybe this time we pick the tallest. So let's see what this is. Okay, so we got These Things Linger by Dan Franklin. This is the last book I actually need to read for TBR Takedown this month, so this worked out perfectly. However, it is kind of short, and I do have the audiobook, so I could probably listen to it while cooking tomorrow. I wonder if I should just open another one just to be safe in case I finish this one up before I'm done cooking, and don't have time to update you guys. Should we do that? Yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna film it now, but you won't get to see it until after my wrap up of this book. All right, I have officially finished These Things Linger by Dan Franklin. I'm so excited to say that this Twisted Retreat book was finally a really big win for me. I haven't read most of them. Let's start out by saying that. But it was a goal of mine to start really getting through this bookshelf and getting those read down. And this is the first one that I have like truly thoroughly enjoyed. I did only give it 4 stars, but it was still a really fun time. This is a paranormal ghost horror. We follow our main character, Alex, um, basically through most of his childhood and now into adulthood. He ends up losing his uncle when he unexpectedly dies, and he realizes that, like, there are some things left unsaid, and he would like to reach back out to him because his uncle raised him when his parents died when he was young. And he does some stupid ritual that he learned from a childhood friend and called back more than just his uncle. And now there is this thing just like devouring people. It like can eat people, it can eat animals, but it is a ghostly type being. And this was so creepy and eerie, and I love all the like occult ritual type things. So seeing them try to perform these as like children was really interesting. And them kind of like assuming it didn't work. And then also learning how to defeat it because, you know, they never did that much investigation into what happens if something bad comes through instead of who you're summoning. So it was just a lot of fun. It was very fast paced. It's fairly short. It's just over 250 pages. So it was a really quick read. Actually, we had a late Thanksgiving with some friends over the weekend, and I listened to this on audio while I was cooking Thanksgiving dinner. So I got through it really quick. And as you saw in the clip before this, I did also pick my next read, which I also finished. Well, we're back to even amounts of brown and red wrapped books again. And like, with the exception of the one chunky one, these are all relatively similar. I don't know. Let's go with this one. I have zero clue what any of these are at this point, except I do know now what that chunky one is, just by process of elimination. I only had a few chunky books on my TBR. Ooh, okay. So we got One Cursed Rose by Rebecca Zanetti. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I am reading this one for the Ever After Readathon. I was also gifted this book by one of my friends, Carissa, over at Boxers and Books. So I'll make sure I link her channel down below. She received this as an ARC. As of now, this book is already published and available. I just am late getting to it, honestly. But I am excited to check it out, so I'll let you guys know what I think. So in this story, in this world, this is more like urban fantasy. It's definitely set in like modern day times, but there is magic at play in this world. Alana is a powerful princess, but she ends up becoming the sole heir to her family's business. They basically produce and sell different rare gems, and slowly but surely their empire is kind of crumbling, and her father's solution is to basically make an arranged marriage between her and a competing family. And now she's kind of torn between like the duty to her family, but also getting revenge on this other competing family that's like tearing them down, and trying to figure out like what all is going on. She's also an influencer, so social media is definitely a huge concept within this book. She's always like posting about her life and trying to like gain more traction for her family's business. Our female main character does end up having an assassination attempt put out on her, and ends up being kind of rescued but also captured by Thorn, our male main character, who is supposed to be like the beast. And he is the one who actually has the social media empire that is like drowning their family. And she's kind of trying to figure out what's going on with that, but she's also falling for him. And there's definitely like this push and pull. This really talks about virginity a lot. Part of her arranged marriage to this other man um, was them basically forcing her into an exam to make sure that she was still pure and innocent. But she gives herself to Thorn, and that becomes a whole thing. And honestly, like, I I didn't mind our female main character in this, but I wasn't rooting for any of the men. I wasn't rooting for the man she was supposed to marry. I wasn't rooting for Thorn. I didn't really like any of them. I didn't feel strong feelings towards any of them. But overall, I think the premise was there. It was still a decently fun time to read, but definitely could have had a little bit more editing done to speed the plot up a little, because there were some points in the book that really dragged. I think they went way too in depth in some of like the business discussions and that kind of plot, where it felt like it took away from the romance and we didn't build the romance enough. Um, but overall, glad I read it, and now it is time to open our next book. So let's go see what we get. All right, it is officially time to open our next book. I still don't think I'm really in the mood for the big chunky boy yet, because I do, just by process of elimination, know what that one is. And then for these, I'm pretty sure, I really can't fully remember. I think they're all holiday romances. There might be one that isn't. But I think that's what I'm in the mood for, is a holiday romance. So let's just open another red one, I guess, and hope for the best. Ooh, I'm excited. So we got In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. I love their books. Like, even if they're not perfect, they're always at least very heartwarming, and there's just something about their writing that I really enjoy. So I'm excited to get into this one. I see it all over the bookternet, but I don't see a lot of people actually talk about like what it's about. The brief bit that I read on the back makes it kind of sound like it's Why Choose, because it says something about two brothers, but really I have zero clue. So I'm excited to hop into this one and just find out what's going on. All right, I have officially finished my next book from Unwrap the TBR. That was In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. I didn't know what I was getting into with this one. Honestly, reading the back of it made it sound like Why Choose, because it says one wish and two brothers. However, it's not that. But it's basically a Groundhog's Day kind of retelling with Christmassy vibes. Our main character, May, is at this cabin with her family and a bunch of other families. They've all been going together since childhood for Christmas weekend. And now all the kids are grown adults, and May makes a mistake and kisses one of the brothers. And it's not the brother that she actually has feelings for. It was just like a drunken thing. And on her way home, she's kind of regretting it. She's also like down on her luck, like with work, and she had to move back in with her parents, and like, just things aren't going well for her right now. So she asks the universe to show her something that would make her happy. And then all of a sudden there's a car crash, and she wakes back up on the plane with her family flying to holiday weekend getaway. So she basically just keeps repeating the same weekend over and over until she finally admits her feelings to the correct brother and gets it right. This was really cute. It did bring a lot of the Christmas magic, especially because we just kept repeating like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day kind of over and over again. It was absolutely adorable. I really enjoyed it, and I gave it 4 stars. That being said, it is time to pick our next book. We're getting low there. There's only 4 left. We're really flying through these this month. I've really been enjoying it. A lot of them have been holiday themed, which means that they're a little bit shorter. So I'm really going through books pretty quick right now. But yeah, let's go pick the next one, see what we get. All right, guys, it is time to unwrap our next book. I think I'm still avoiding the Chunky Boy because I know that it's a fantasy romance. I'm not really in the mood yet. And I know that these three are holiday books. I think two are romance and one is a holiday horror. Um, let's just go with this red one because it's next in line because I really don't know. They're all like so similar in size that I don't know what's what. Ooh, okay. So this is another one that I wrapped a different book because I didn't have a physical copy, but I'm going to be listening to Hark the Herald Angels Scream. This one is free on Audible Plus right now if you have Audible Plus, and I believe it's an anthology of a bunch of horror short stories, so I'm excited to get into it and see what it's about. All right, guys, I'm back with another little reading update. I did finish Hark the Herald Angels Scream, which was a short story compilation edited by Christopher Golden. I ended up giving this one 2 stars. It just, most of the stories were just so boring. There was really only like one standout read to me, and that one was written by Jeff Strand. And it was based on that Christmas Shoes song about the little boy who goes to the department store to try and buy a new pair of shoes for his mother who is sick and in the hospital dying. And he just wants her to have something nice to have on when she has to go meet Jesus. And that song always makes me cry. And just the twist he added to it, I was like, this is so fitting and so relevant to this song. And like that one stuck with me. Every other story in this collection was like in one ear, out the other. I didn't care. They weren't creepy. They weren't scary. Most of them were like that dumb horror where it's like, I guess I shouldn't say it's dumb. It's just very repetitive and I don't like it. Like where they'll pick a word and repeat it over and over. Like it'll be like avocado, 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 avocado. And it's like, okay, just shut up, move on. It drives me nuts. And so many of the stories had that element in it. And I was just getting really annoyed listening to it. So yeah, I don't know. Short story collections aren't really my thing to begin with. So maybe this could work better for someone that isn't me, but overall, besides that like one Jeff Strand story, I don't care about the rest. So, oh well. That being said, it is time to go unwrap our next book. So let's go see what we get. All right, guys, it is time to pick our next book. Pickings are getting a little slim now. I'm still in the holiday book mood, so I think I want to pick one of these two because I know that they are both holiday books. I just don't know which one is which. There's one I am looking forward to more than the other, but I guess we will see what we get. Okay. This is not the one I was looking forward to, unfortunately. This is The 12 Dates of Christmas by Jenny Bayliss. I actually bought like 3 of her holiday romance books last year, maybe the year before, just secondhand. And one of them I really enjoyed, the others I did not. This one I hadn't gotten to yet, so I guess let's go for it and hope that I like it. I'll check back in with you guys when I'm finished. All right, guys, I'm back with an update. So I unwrapped The 12 Dates of Christmas by Jenny Bayliss. And I read 2 of these books by her last year, and they were just kind of meh to me. One of them was okay. One of them I actually really didn't like. And I think I'm just going to DNF this one. I read the first probably 30-ish%, and I'm so bored. So I think Jenny Bayless is just not an author for me. I'm going to stop trying all of her Christmas books. I got them secondhand. Um, so I got them for really cheap, and I thought I would try them. I'd never read from Jenny Bayless before last year. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just so bored. I don't care. And I'd rather just read something that makes me happy. It's also a busy month, so like I'm not trying to force things. And I really need to get better about DNFing books anyway. I very often like force my way through it. Why? Why do I do that? There's a million other things I could be reading and enjoying my time with. Um Also apparently I decided to match the book today. So yeah, we're DNFing this one and moving on. So that being said, we can unwrap our next book. I'm not going to go over there and do it like I have been doing because there's only two left, and I know what both of them are. One is a chunkier fantasy romance, and the other is another Christmas rom com. Either I'm getting holiday booked out, or this was just really bad. I don't know which is the case, so I think I'm going to pick the chunky fantasy book. So give me 1 second and let me grab it. All right, we have our book. Let's open it. All right, we have another case where I wrapped a random book because I didn't own a physical copy, but that is Quicksilver by Callie Hart. Since wrapping these books, I did actually get my hands on a copy. So I will be reading this. And I'm so excited to get to this one. I've been hearing nothing but amazing things. Callie Hart normally writes contemporary dark romances, so I'm interested to see what she does with a fantasy romance. And I'm just hoping I love it because I know everybody else did. We're also buddy reading this over in the Ever After Readathon Discord. But I know there's quite a few people that are reading this one this month for the bingo board. And yeah, I'm really excited. So I'm going to go get reading and I'll check back in with you guys later. All right, I have officially finished my 11th book from Unwrap the TBR, and that was Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I ended up giving this one 5 stars. I absolutely loved this. It was just the right amount of like light dark with some of the best banter. And it wasn't just the banter between the two main characters, but also them with like side characters as well. The audiobook was fantastic. There was someone doing like an Irish accent, which was amazing. I loved it. But it's just so much fun. It was so funny and witty. There's this cute little fox animal companion, and you guys know I love an animal companion in books. So this one just really hit the mark for me, and I cannot wait for book 2, which is supposed to be coming out in fall of 2025. I saw somewhere that it said like mid-October, but on Callie Hart's website, there isn't an official date yet, so I don't know. We'll see, but I cannot wait to get back into this world, and I will be picking that up immediately when it comes out because I loved this so much. That being said, it is time to open our 12th and final book of our Unwrap the TBR, which obviously by process of elimination, I do know what this book is, but you guys don't, so let's open it. All right, so it is Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey. I don't really know what to expect in this one. I usually enjoy Tessa Bailey's books, especially her newer ones. I've been reading through her backlist, and those have been kind of hit or miss for me, but this one came out last year, and I've had it on my shelf. I have didn't get to it, and I really wanted to try and get to it this year. And I know we follow like the daughter of a rock star, and someone asks her to try to get the band back together, and she's hesitant to do it because she is like obsessed with one of the other band members' sons, and he's like very charming, and I don't know if they've like dated before or if she was just like enamored with him, but either way, I'm excited to check it out. I haven't read a lot of like rock star romance, and even though the two main characters are not rock stars themselves, they are used to the life and the limelight and the fame because of their parents. So, yeah, I'm going to check it out and see what I think. All right, I have officially finished my very last book for Unwrap the TBR, and that was Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey. I ended up giving this one 3 stars. It's by no means a favorite Tessa Bailey book for me, and I also don't think it brought enough Christmas cheer. Besides the fact that this like takes place in December, and the two main characters are trying to get their mother's band back together to play one last show on Christmas Eve. That's really, yeah, I don't know. There's not a lot of holiday to this, even though it is a holiday romance. I mean, it looks very holiday-ish. We have lights and snow and holiday outfits and wreaths and trees, and I don't know. It didn't deliver on that front for me. But in this book, we follow Melody and Beat. Their mothers are both rock stars from the same band. It got broken up over some drama, and Beat has always still kind of been in the limelight. The cameras love him. He's charming, he's funny, but Melody is very awkward and kind of avoids the limelight. She keeps to herself. She's a very quiet life, and she's approached by some producers that want to do a show with her and Beat and like live stream them like pretty much 24/7, trying to get their mothers to reunite the band to play a concert for Christmas Eve. Kind of sounds like something I wouldn't want to watch. That sounds really dumb and really boring. But people go wild for it. It gets Melody back in the limelight. She's very uncomfortable through a lot of it, but she's definitely proving that, like, as she's gotten older, um, she's more charismatic and charming and witty and funny, and people are just loving her. They're also like shipping a relationship between her and Beat, and she has always had a crush on Beat since they were kids. Obviously, they like met a few times because their moms were both in the band together. And Beat, we find out later, has like always had a thing for her as well, and it's pretty cute. I liked their romance. There was definitely some things in here I was not expecting when it came to the spice. He's like super into edging, and like it's a wild ride. That's for sure. But yeah, overall, it was fine. I just wish it brought a little more holiday cheer. So 3 stars for me. All right, that is the end of Unwrap the TBR. Those were the 12 books that we had for this challenge. This was a whole lot of fun. I think it just spiced up the end of the year a little since I didn't always know what I was getting. I may have had like a general idea, but honestly, like I forgot what I had wrapped partially as well. So I didn't even know what all books were on there. And yeah, I hope you guys also enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up on your way out. Subscribe if you're new, and make sure your notifications are turned on so you don't miss any future content. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye. All right, I have officially... What? I have done what now?